Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Nightmare Mode run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Entrepreneur, one of the most powerful characters in the game, but we're going to be using one of the worst weapons in the game, because if there's any character that can make this weapon work easily, it's this one. Of course, I need to get a win on Crash Zone, and Crash Zone, generally the harder map in Nightmare Mode, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to be playing Entrepreneur with Hiking Pole. Now, Hiking Pole is a very weak weapon overall. The stats on this weapon simply aren't high enough to make it viable for most characters, or at least powerful for most characters. But it actually has some advantages for the Entrepreneur. The support weapon tag is better, since we get more harvesting, and the fact that it scales off of range means we don't have to buy damage, even with our 50% negative damage modifier. So we'll be able to hopefully get really long poles and win the game that way. Now, notice that as the Entrepreneur, we lose all our money at the start of the wave. That includes the first wave. So we have no materials at the start of this wave, effectively. That means we won't be able to buy as many weapons as another character would have, but our economy will catch up pretty quickly. So I should be able to buy one hiking pole here. I'm going to reroll. I'm looking for harvesting, and I will do one more reroll for 2. I'm looking for harvesting or attack speed, and then I'm going to roll looking for hiking poles. Now, because we lose all our money at the start of the wave, we're just going to spend all of our money rerolling here. I'm going to ban Goat Skull. We don't want to buy any damage, basically, and unfortunately, we are struggling to find hiking poles. Okay, nice. We did find a second one. I was really worried because we really need to get the support weapon tag going. I'll also lock Broken Mouth. I think that this is a strong enough item. It's impossible because wave 1 doesn't last long enough. You can't get range on the first wave, but we should get 2 points of range this wave, I believe, just by moving around with our hiking poles. So we're going to start very slowly building up our character's range and damage. We need to get tons of range before it's noticeable in terms of how far we attack, but the damage scaling will start after only not that much range increase, so getting that going early helps a lot. I'm going to roll here, and I'll take 5% attack speed, very important to boost that. We'll take 5 harvesting, and then I need to roll for hiking poles. Hopefully I can at least buy 2 and lock 1 more, given that we have a lot of rerolls. Unfortunately, we were able to do that, and then we'll go to wave 3. The Entrepreneur has cheaper items, but since you lose all of your money, you never want to save money between waves, because you can't. So we're going to spend all of our money re-rolling in every shop, whether or not we're likely to actually lock something, since it's free to. I will run down to the corner and get the tree, but I wanted to make sure I was killing all these other enemies as well. And then we made 100 materials wave 3, so we're pretty happy with that. We'll take 10 luck here, buy a hiking pole. Oh, I should have bought the coupon first, so I just threw away 1 material. We'll buy all this HP, and then we'll roll, and then we'll buy another hiking pole. More important to get the full support weapon tag online and also start building up extra range quickly than it is to buy the fertilizer, though of course we can buy both. And then we're just going to use hiking poles this run, so I'm going to ban the jelly, and then we'll do a reroll, lock another pole, and in fact we're locking everything here. So far we should have gotten 6 total range because the wave 2 and 3 were long enough to trigger our hiking poles once each, and so we had 2 and then 4. And so this wave, I believe we still only get 1 trigger, so we're going to cross the first 10 range threshold, which should increase our damage by 1, since our weapons deal 10% of our range as damage. So, although I have negative % damage and negative melee damage, half of each, so the rounding is decreasing that. I could take 30 range here. This just gives us an extra 3 damage on all of our attacks, and then more as we level our hiking poles. But let's take some movement speed, and then because of the way this weapon works, every 70 steps we take, getting some movement speed is going to give us extra range, which will give us faster damage scaling. And then I could take 4% damage here to offset the negative percent damage that we have. We will want to get some of this because it will eventually be multiplying a fairly large number. Let's just take an armor for now. Buy a hiking pole, which now scales with 12% of our range. It's not a significant range increase, not a significant scaling increase, but we get more range as well. And every little bit counts when you're buying range, which is a stat you do get in reasonably large amounts, even though it's not large enough for most characters to actively want to buy it. Even though this costs us 0.8 of a damage, I'm still buying the Scar. I'll buy defective steroids as well, and then I will re-roll here. And okay, so we're on Crash Zone, so I have a choice. I could buy the Fishhook, or I could decide not to get Curse, because typically you don't want Curse on Crash Zone. An early Fishhook like this, though, I think is still worth picking up, and then we can buy these 2 items as well. Double coupon this early will also save us a lot of money. And since we're the Entrepreneur, even with a bad weapon, I'm feeling like we should be able to handle cursed enemies. Maybe this is too greedy, but an early Fishhook is quite powerful, and a cursed hiking pole is really nice because not only does it increase the damage scaling, which helps a lot, so if we were to find one, which obviously helps a lot, it also increases the speed at which you gain extra range, so you're going to get more damage faster. So we got a second point from our level 2. Do we get 5 more? If I keep moving, nice. We triggered 5 more range right at the end of the wave. Gentle Alien will take. So one of the fun things about Entrepreneur is most characters, and actually we wouldn't have gotten that 5 range without the 6 move speed, so that's nice. Most characters that are sort of economy-based will have reduced material drops from enemies. Not so the Entrepreneur. So you can benefit from extra enemies quite heavily. I'll take the 10% attack speed here. Attack speed is going to be by far my most important stat in this run, because not only does Hiking Pole have really bad base attack speed, its range is going to increase, which on melee weapons slows your attack speed because the animation takes longer to happen. I'll buy the Hiking Pole. I will buy Decomposing Flesh, and then I'm going to ban both of these and get a free reroll. And then we'll roll, buy another pole, buy a coffee, perfect. And then we will roll again. I'm going to ban these things. We'll lock a Shady Potion and re-roll. We will ban Injection because I don't want to buy damage, and I will re-roll. I will take a Black Belt. I probably will end up building Dodge, but I'm not going to lock Feather. I'm going to roll again because I really wanted to lock another Hiking Pole. Unfortunately, we got pretty unlucky on Wave 5, despite having guaranteed weapons this wave. So our Fishhook only got to lock 2 things. I want to get this summon, the goober that's running around, before I kill the summoners, but I wasn't really able to. Now, one advantage of having Hiking Pole as our weapon is hopefully, if we get enough attack speed, by wave 14, we'll have enough damage and enough range on our weapons that the summons won't actually be super dangerous to us. That's at least the theory, but we'll see if it works out in practice, especially given that I'm taking a lot of hits this wave already, so some things are definitely a little bit dangerous. Left some materials on the ground, but not too many. We'll take the propeller hat here, which has less of a downside. I do want more luck, but let's take some regen, and then I could take 45 range. That's 4.5 damage, base damage for all of my weapons, more for the level 2. And I think that's fine. Just getting a damage upgrade at this point is pretty nice. Shady Potion with the curse is good here. 5 extra luck. It's a very small luck increase, so that part doesn't matter, but actually costing 1 less regen matters a lot, and increasing our curse is good as well. Pickup radius will help a lot. We're going to be running around very quickly, hopefully, and we'll buy a hiking pole, buy a leather vest. I'm going to buy spicy sauce. We got an early decomposing flesh, which is a lot of healing, so I'm happy with this. But now we're going to need to heavily prioritize max HP, and then we can buy both of these items and might as well re-roll. And in fact, we were able to lock another thing for a fishhook, so that last re-roll worked well. Another reason that fishhook is worth buying as well is that on the Entrepreneur, you're going to be re-rolling a ton, because there's no reason not to. So Fishhook is better for this character when you're re-rolling a lot, since you will just be locking more items inherently by virtue of how often you're re-rolling, even with, you know, only one slot open in the shop. Okay, walking into that attack was horrible. I need to be really careful now. Unfortunately, we don't yet have long enough range that the enhanced spitter isn't super dangerous. So I am getting kind of trapped up here by these really scary high damage nightmare mode enemies. And since we can't really stop moving, it's hard to avoid some of that damage. We'll take the power generator. It's plus half a damage right now, but we will be buying more move speed. I'll take 12 dodge. Getting up to 18% dodge means that dodge is actually quite viable for us. And then we'll take 6 HP. Once again, I threw away a material by not buying coupon first, so that's funny. Do I want the fruit basket when it's not cursed? I probably do. We don't have any consumable heal, but it is still fairly powerful. Increasing enemy move speed on wave 8 is very dangerous, but I will buy the scarf anyways. The 4 regen is nice, the 4 move speed is very important. I'll roll here. Piggy bank is kind of funny on the entrepreneur, so it technically does work, in that it will trigger in a weird order, where if you have materials left in your inventory before you go into a wave, the piggy bank will calculate how much it's going to give you based off that money. Then you'll lose all that money, and then the piggy bank will give you the remainder. So you will technically get materials every wave, but it'll be a tiny amount. I could lock the mirror because we do have Fishhook, but I think I'm just going to keep rolling. I'll buy a tree, lock a lost duck, roll, we'll lock these items, and then I'll do one more reroll. And even though it costs me move speed, I will lock Ugly Tooth. Again, with Fishhook, I want to lock a bunch of stuff to get cursed items showing up. I do need to be really careful with this cursed charger. Has a ton of health, way more than our weapons are capable of dealing, and does way more damage than our character is capable of taking right now. We'll put the occasional attack on it. This isn't a healer wave, so if we sort of chip away at it slowly over time, we should get it eventually. I doubled back there so I could get the heal from the tree. Grab that consumable heal. Gonna tank a hit from that cursed enemy. There's no way I can easily kill that cursed loot alien, unfortunately. It's just too fast and we can't really get to it easily. I'll take the lucky charm here. We have 111 harvesting also, so I don't need to kill enemies every wave. We'll definitely take lemonade. We'll definitely take attack speed. Finally buy coupon first. And then I'll buy these items. Ugly Tooth, when it's not cursed, do I want it? I guess I still do want it, even though it costs me move speed. I'll buy the Corrupted Shard, because we are building Curse here, so even though it's only 1.5 damage, it's still worth it. I don't have enough healing to buy Weird Ghost. I will re-roll. I can't really afford to buy Cyclops Worm. It costs us base damage and gives us only 6% damage, so let's roll past that. We'll buy Dangerous Bunny and re-roll. Not finding any hiking poles, and that's something that I'm very concerned about at this point. I will, I think, buy the Lost Duck over the Ritual. If we can curse Ritual, that would be pretty nice. I'll buy Terrified Onion because I do need more move speed, and then unfortunately don't have enough money to lock more stuff for the hook, but move speed will help us build more damage. And of course we have Power Generator, so we're the entrepreneurs, so every point of move speed is only worth half a damage, but half a damage is still pretty relevant. And when you have really low % damage, like you're going to on this character, every point becomes more impactful. Increasing your lowest numbers will typically, with the exception of dodge, will typically yield more value than increasing your highest numbers. So this is a way that we can build damage relatively easily, and it's more impactful than it might look given the small absolute numbers. That was a very lucky dodge, and another one. I really want to get that loot alien, but I think we're going to be too pressured out to do that, unfortunately. Did not quite have enough damage to kill all of those summons, so I don't think we got the loot alien kill. I'm going to recycle the hedgehog. I could get +1 damage on all my weapons, but I don't want to lose regen. And then here we'll take 5 regen. That's awesome. All right, so here, really interesting spot. I could take 9 dodge. Going up to over 30 dodge already is pretty powerful. That would give me some pretty solid defensive capabilities. I don't need more harvesting. We're the entrepreneur. We're going to keep growing our harvesting. I think I'm just going to take the attack speed here. And then here, 4 base damage or 3 base damage on the 30 range, but it also gives me some range, or 6% damage. Our base damage is going to keep going up as we get more range. So I think I'm going to take the % damage, even though it's the lowest value right now. I'll buy the Ritual, that's great. We'll buy Blindfold, increasing our dodge further. We'll buy Bat, and then we'll ban Sharp Bullet, getting another free reroll. We'll take some more luck and reroll, and reroll. How are we not finding any hiking poles? Even though it costs us extra harvesting because we're the entrepreneur, we're still buying Blood Leech. Now we have much more reasonable healing. Okay, we finally found a hiking pole. And do I want the Claw Tree? Do I want the Scope? It's plus 2.5 damage for -7 attack speed. I think not. I will take the Bean Teacher. That's great. We don't really have the regen to support blood donation right now. If I had like 30 regen, I would take it. But right now I actually need the healing from this regen. So I'll buy blood donation later, even though it's higher value on the entrepreneur. We'll take the bag. We'll take the leather vest and we'll roll. Upgrade our hiking pole, finally finding some of these, and we'll lock a whetstone as well. I definitely need more, either more damage or more survivability before we have to face an elite, because right now, this character is not very well set up to fight elites. But our damage is just growing over time, and the faster we move, the faster it grows. Also, the more I level my weapons, the faster it grows. So we should be able to start building up a reasonable amount of damage soon. Also, there's still a chance that we find a really powerful cursed item. You know, a cursed fairy would win this run immediately. A cursed hiking pole would go a really long way as well. Getting some healing here. This is one thing I love about the entrepreneur, is because of how it works, you can just use weird strategies on this character. It's very powerful, obviously, but it's also very fun. It just enables all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, we have a darkness wave, but the elite isn't until wave 12, so I will take 4% damage here. I'll buy a black belt. We'll recycle this. I'll take 10% more attack speed, and then I could buy move speed, but I'm going to roll for armor or dodge. Oh, wait, this wasn't a guaranteed. I just saw all purples and assumed it was a guaranteed purple level up, but you know what? It actually worked out even better because we got +4 armor. We'll take the whetstone here, lemonade, and alien tongue. I will take extra pickup radius. We'll take our reroll. Actually, is it worth buying the book? Basically, I'm spending 22 on a reroll because it'll make my third reroll in this shop free. Because we already have, or my second reroll in the shop free because we already have one from the Dangerous Bunny. I think that is worth it because it's going to make future rerolls cheaper as well. We can buy Fishhook here, and then we can roll again, and then we can buy Fin and Muscly Dude, and then re-roll. We can buy Helmet and Whetstone and a hiking pole, and re-roll. And yeah, so it definitely was worth it to buy the book here. Yes, it cost me 1 luck, but we got to see a lot more items for cheaper. And then we'll buy some dodge, we'll roll again, we'll buy tree and metal plate, and roll again. And then we will lock hiking pole. Okay, I do not want to cap my max HP at 42. Peacock going into an elite wave we can't really buy. So yeah, we're just locking the hiking pole. And then I think my level 20 level up, unfortunately, is going to have to be max HP. Because my max HP is so bad right now. Walking into every attack from all of these enemies. Fortunately, we got a little lucky with the dodges there, so I wasn't in so much danger. That cursed enhanced spitter is deadly, so I need to be very careful of those enemies. trying to avoid all these attacks, but I also... I can stop moving. It's not like we're playing Jousting Lances or like the Speedy where we lose a ton of armor. It just costs me a tiny fraction of a point of range every time I stop moving, which isn't the end of the world, obviously. But since that's where our damage comes from, I want to minimize that. But if it's going to cause me to take a massive hit from a dangerous enemy, if I keep moving, then I need to avoid that. I'm going to run through the center here, pick up some materials, kill a few more enemies. And then, even though it costs me move speed and damage, Warrior Helmet's exactly what we need. I will spend move speed on the campfire as well, because I still just need more regen. I could buy speed to offset that, but let's take 2 armor. We're up to 20 armor now. And then I'll take 9 max HP, going to 56. We will... Didn't get the Cursed Hiking Pole, alas. Poisonous Tonic not only gives us attack speed and crit chance, it also gives us range, which gives us more damage. So... perfect for this character. I'll buy another fruit basket, and then I'm gonna roll again, and we'll take... We're losing a lot of move speed as I buy these warrior helmets, but we obviously can't not do that. Head injury will pass on because it costs range. We'll buy blindfold here, and then re-roll again, and then I'll buy a peaceful bee. We don't need starfish, and starfish is too dangerous on nightmare mode, but I'll take the shmoop. We'll roll. Ball and chain... It's going to be hard to get our weapons to the point where they'd be attacking faster than the ball and chain, because it's cursed. It gives me 6 armor and 28% damage. So I think we will take the cursed ball and chain. We'll lock Spyglass, and we'll roll here, and then we'll go to wave 12. Because not only would we need to buy a lot of attack speed, our range is going to keep decreasing, or keep... Our increasing range is going to keep decreasing our attack rate. So the ball and chain is not going to be that impactful, I don't think. I'd have liked one with a lower minimum. That would have been nice. I don't think we quite have the damage to kill this elite, unfortunately, right now. I started trying to because our defensive stats are so strong, but our DPS is a little bit low, so I'm just going to avoid fighting the elite, and we'll run around here, just collecting materials and killing enemies. I went to kill that tree because I want my loot worm collecting materials, although another tree spawned at the other side of the map, so it just did the long run across the map again. I'll take the goblet. It does, again, cost me regen, but... that gives us a lot of other ways to heal. Stone Skin is 23 health, so while I will need to fix my attack speed, that gets my health to a totally reasonable margin. We'll take that. We'll take 15 attack speed, and then, yeah, so 0.5. It's going to be a lot of attack speed before we get that low, so we'll take the ball and chain, we'll take Shmoop, we'll take Spyglass, we'll go ahead and buy a hiking pole, do a reroll. Nothing here that we want. Let's roll again. We'll buy glasses. This is just 20 range, so it increases our weapon damage. Buy hiking pole. We'll buy all this stuff and roll. I will take a baby gecko and a lost duck. Do I want the defective steroids? I don't really care about my max HP, and I still want more attack speed, so we'll just roll past that. We'll buy hiking pole. I'll lock the bonk dog, and we'll roll again. Lock a gentle alien, roll again. Okay, nice. And hopefully with double fish hook, at least one of those gets cursed. If not, we'll still buy them, but it would be really nice to get a cursed hiking pole. We're also now starting to get to the point where our range is long enough that we're actually noticing it. You can see that we're meaningfully attacking enemies who are further away than we used to be. You know, 150 range later, it makes the slightest iota of visible difference. Gonna go ahead and clear out that tree again, because I want my loot worm focusing on picking up materials, which can be hard for us, and it's easy for us to get to trees, because our move speed is fairly high. But at this point, we're tanky enough that we can just run at the enemies, so as long as I don't stop moving, we're in good shape. I'll recycle the snail. I don't care about that. I'm going to take 6% damage. My percent damage is still relevant. And then I could take 10 luck, but I think we can do better. Let's roll. I'll take 6 dodge, getting to 59 dodge. Awesome. We got double cursed hiking pole. So we'll definitely take that. And then we will buy gentle alien and we'll buy the bonk dog. I'm just buying this because it's cursed. And then we'll roll here. We can upgrade our second hiking pole to level 4. Buy warrior helmet, buy grind's magical leaf, lock the metal plate, do a reroll. I'll buy lemonade. Do I want the alien worm? I guess so. And then I'll do a reroll, lock a hiking pole, and roll again, and hopefully our fishhook curses us another weapon. This time our damage should be more than adequate for killing this elite, even on wave 14, because we've got solid damage on our weapons, but even more importantly, we have really good defenses, so I can just stay near it and just attack it constantly, or even run through it when needed. So we were able to kill that. There's a loot alien here, which I want to get, and I did, and then we're basically just running around. I'm almost fully ignoring the summons at the moment, because we're so tanky. I could definitely still walk into a million attacks in a row and take a bunch of damage, but with 120 health, we should be fairly safe here. So I'm just trying to clear all of these enemies out. We'll take the Corrupted Shard. We're going to recycle because of the run we're playing. Gobbler's Hat. All right, I don't like losing dodge or move speed, but we're going to take the Gobbler's Hat. It's just too fun not to. And then I could roll for move speed, but I think I'm going to roll for dodge, go back over dodge cap. And then here I'll take 12 move speed to fix my move speed. I will still buy the level 1 hiking pole, even though it didn't get cursed. We'll buy this stuff, we'll roll, upgrade to another level 4 cursed pole, buy the jerky. Missile, I can pass on. The level 4 weapons are still nowhere near the ball and chain minimum, so we don't need to worry about that at all. We'll buy a feather, mostly because it's cursed, but this also lets me, if I buy negative dodge items, it doesn't reduce our dodge. We'll buy bait here. I'm going to buy pumpkin just for 3 curse, and then I'll buy tractor and peaceful bee, and we'll buy lighthouse. This is just for fun and to pull a unique item out of the pool. And then I'm going to lock the hiking pole and adrenaline and roll. I will buy the cake and lock this hiking pole, because I'd really like to get this one cursed as well. Alright, a lot of cursed lampreys spawning at the beginning of that wave, because we bought the bait, obviously. So I did need to be a little careful there, but it looks more dangerous than it is, because our health pool is so high. So when I'm below half health, on a normal character, you'd be pretty scared, because below half health would represent like 30 HP or 2 hits from death. When we're half health on this character with 130 base HP, we're at the full health pool that a normal character probably would have around this point in the game. So even if we take half our health worth of damage, it's just not that big a deal. It just looks scary because you're so used to the bar. You know, when the bar goes below half, you have to start panicking. But the health bar can represent very different numbers for different builds. We'll take the penguin here. I'll recycle the hedgehog. I'm going to recycle the alloy. We'll buy another corrupted shard. Okay, do I want 60 range? I guess so. That's a lot of range all at once. And then we'll take 12 more move speed. Tragically, nothing got cursed here, but I'm still going to upgrade all my weapons. And I'll buy the adrenaline just for the healing. And again, to pull it out of the pool. I think we will buy a blood donation now. And I will pass on the bowler hat. I think what I'm going to do is lock this hiking pole. No, I'm just going to sell and buy the hiking pole. We'll be able to find cursed weapons to lock, and we have so many rerolls and so much money with cheaper shop items as well. I really don't want to try to lock something through this entire shop, because it would actually reduce the number of items that we see a ton. We'll buy a pearl as well. I'm going to take small magazine. We only lose 3 damage, and we gain 10% attack speed, which matters a lot. Still nowhere near the ball and chain minimum, because our weapons keep slowing down as we gain more range as well. I'll take even more move speed. Now I'm going to lock this hiking pole. We have little enough money that I think it's worth it. We'll buy the glasses, roll here, we'll lock this, and I guess decomposing flesh I don't need to lock. It's late enough in the run that we're not interested in it, and we have a lot of lifesteal already anyways. And I don't have a crystal or a triangle of power, so I'm happy to take the blood donation just to increase my harvesting, because we're the entrepreneur. So even though we bought it very late in the run, we're going to get still quite a lot of money out of it. And also, as the entrepreneur, I feel like it would be remiss of me not to just maximize my income. You know, we're taking a really long-term investment portfolio, get it? So we need to start getting some returns on that. Wave 16, of course, dangerous for ranged characters, but we didn't care. I'll take the pile of books just to pull this out of the pool. We'll buy duct tape, and then I don't need more max HP. Let's reroll. We'll take some attack speed. We'll take even more armor. We're up to 45 armor. We'll buy the cursed leather vest. We didn't get the hiking pole curse, so I'm just going to unlock it here, and we'll just roll into other stuff. This weapon does have only 1.5x crit damage at base, but the level 4s have 1.8, and their base damage is so high that crit chance is actually still pretty damaging. I'll increase my pickup radius even further. We'll buy a baby gecko. I do want more regen, so I guess I'll buy the campfire, even though it costs move speed. We'll buy this. I'll buy a garden as well. I need to just buy a lot of stuff because we just have so much money, so we can just buy a bunch of items. Obviously, getting fairy there fixes our regeneration completely. I don't need more dodge anymore. I'll take more crit chance. We have 48 armor, so I think we can afford to lose one. Weird Ghost, a little risky going into an elite wave, but you know what? If we die here, that would just be funny, so I'm going to buy the Weird Ghost. And if we die here, that would just be funny, so I'm going to buy the bait. And then Rip and Tear and Bone Dice, I think we'll pass on. I guess I'll buy the Bone Dice to pull it out of the pool. We'll buy another Grind's Magical Leaf. That's just really fun, just having 2 of those, giving us so many stats. And I'll buy a Wheelbarrow for fun as well. I'm going to roll here, lock a panda, and lock a mouse. And then we have 54 regen, so we're not in danger of dying to the blood donation. Because when you have more healing than the blood donation, more than 10 healing, you survive the blood donation tick, because you get your healing before the blood donation deals damage. But I do have to be really, really careful at the start of this wave. So I'm going to run for the consumable heal. Because I made things a little more exciting, even with 1 million armor, by buying the bait and the Weird Ghost there. Let a lot of slashers spawn as well, because I was dodging, but now we should be in great shape to go fight the elite. Obviously, you shouldn't do that if you're looking to maximize your chances of winning the run, but not every run is about that. Look at how much money we're making every wave now as well. Sure, we'll take a metal detector. We're just going to keep greeting. It does cost me some regen, but I'll buy the wolf helmet. Think the attack speed is more important than the range here, but it is kind of fun to just get even more range. So I'm going to buy that just for fun there. We'll take some armor. We'll take some more max HP. Not that we need it, but I'm kind of just clicking buttons at this point. We'll buy the mouse and panda and fruit basket. And then I will re-roll, get my last fish hook. That's nice. We'll take the garden. I'll buy claw tree as well. Celery tea. our damage is high enough. I think I could just buy it, mostly for the reroll here. And I don't need to buy another celery tea, but we'll take another metal detector. I'll buy snail just to get it out of the pool. We'll keep rolling. We'll buy a cursed campfire. We'll keep rolling. Tardigrade doesn't do anything because we have blood donation, so it's just going to go away. But we can buy some crit chance, even more regen. We'll buy none of this. We'll keep rolling. We'll buy this. No, I guess it's... the regen doesn't actually happen because it's just regen neutral. We get 1 melee damage, which doesn't really matter when we're dealing 400 damage a shot. I'm going to roll here. Still looking for cursed hiking poles. We'll buy our last fruit basket and another sunglasses. So now we have 60% crit chance on our weapons. Buy the other bone dice. I'm going to skip the second blood donation. I'll lock and improve tools. I guess I'll buy head injury when it comes with a regen. And then I'm going to roll again. And 8% crit chance on the energy bracelet. Sure, we'll buy that. And then we'll go to wave 18. Also, if we see a weird ghost in the next 2 shops, I'm still buying it, because my commitment to you guys is to, you know, commit to the bit here. And it would still be extremely funny if I lost this run at this point. So now you can see how far my weapons are going. They're covering an actually appreciable amount more of the screen. Because we've gotten our range up to plus 600 or so. Once you reach this level of bonus range, you actually start clearing the wave from a lot further away. Nice. Cursed Dangerous Bunny is great. I'll take some more luck. I think I'm just going to take the attack speed. That's one of the easiest ways that we can actually boost our character. We'll buy all this stuff. We'll roll. I will roll again. We have 77% lifesteal. I should actually buy more lifesteal. We can get to 100%. I'm going to buy the mirror just for fun and see what we can pick up here. We can buy the bag. It's our last bag, so we buy it without using the mirror. And then we'll buy banner as well. Obviously, banner is amazing for this weapon since attack speed matters so much. And our range, of course, is super valuable. Let's keep rolling. I'll buy the recycling machine just to get it out of the pool again. We'll roll again. We'll buy some more regen items. Toxic Sludge we can pick up just for 1 regen. We're way over dodge cap. And then I will buy Sift's Relic. We'll buy some more pickup radius for consumable healing. I'll buy a Dynamite for 1 regen as well. And then we'll roll. Buy, I guess, none of this. And then roll again. Buy a banner and a duct tape and roll again. Curse Broken Mouth, yes please. And then here's the weird ghost, so we're definitely buying that. And I don't want the gnome. I'm going to roll past that. We'll buy a Blood Leech here and keep re-rolling. I'm not going to lock the level 1 hiking pole, because it won't actually be a huge... If it gets cursed, it won't be an upgrade over the level 4, so we would have to find another level 1 anyways. I'll lock a sunglasses, though. Alright, so again, we have 1 HP at the start, and I think this is a bait wave as well. Oh, I guess not. Obviously, it's impossible to remember everything that I've bought going into these waves. We're simply too rich. It is funny to think about how if you are, you know, extremely wealthy, the category of things that you can buy and then just forget that you've bought must be quite wide. Obviously, for a normal person, you might forget that you've bought some minor things. But for Jeff Bezos, he can forget that he's bought, you know, entire houses. Or entire elections. Here we're going to go ahead and grab some more crit chance, and I'll take the Gummy Berserker. It's cursed, and we have enough armor. We'll recycle the cog here. We're going to re-roll, and we'll pick up some movement speed. We'll take the attack speed, I guess, here, just to kill the bosses faster. We're going to roll a little longer, or a little more, and then I'm going to grab the crit chance here. I'd like to, if I can, get to 100% lifesteal and 100% crit chance, and we're at 95%, so I only need 2% more crit. So let's roll past this. The fertilizer we don't need, really. I don't need the level 3 hiking pole. I could buy Snake for a regen, but we don't really need that either. Octopus gets me 3 more lifesteal, but costs 8 crit. So in my quest to get to 100% on both those stats, we're going to pass on it. None of these give lifesteal or crit. We'll definitely buy the Cursed Nail. We have 24 engineering, so that's actually a significant increase to our damage. We'll buy the Penguin here. We'll roll again, roll again, roll again. Pick up Lumberjack Shirt to get it out of the pool. But I'm going to roll past all this stuff. Okay, nice. So that gets me to 91 lifesteal. And then keep on rolling, get some more crit chance, and we're up to, is that 100%? Yeah, 101. So we're critting on every attack. We only have 98% nominal crit chance, but there's 3% base on the weapons. We'll definitely take Cursed Silver Bullet. Triangle of Power, we probably kill the bosses faster with this, because there's no way that we lose 38 damage. It just doesn't take us that long to kill the bosses. 38 seconds. So even with the blood donation, Triangle of Power is still going to be an advantage here. We'll buy the Whetstone. Even with the Cursed Nail, I don't think it's worth buying Cog. 30% of our engineering, and we lose 2% damage. Actually, I think that might be worth it. And then I will reroll. So now we're at 95% lifesteal, so I just need a little more lifesteal. And then we've reached our goal. Keep on rolling a little bit. Oh, I should have bought the wings, but there we go. We got a butterfly, so now we're at 100% lifesteal and 100% crit chance. We'll buy Gentle Alien and Duct Tape. We'll roll again. We'll buy... Oh, I can't buy the plant. It would reduce my lifesteal, but let's buy Scared Sausage. Buy a Cursed Garden. Roll again. I'm going to buy a Celery Tea just for the memes. This is going to double the boss's health. But, you know... We're just making things a little harder on ourselves. Okay, let's compare the level 1 hiking pole with Curse to the level 4, and you can see that it is worse. It attacks slower, I guess it attacks the same speed, but it does a little bit less damage, and it gives us range a little faster, but we would need to find another level 1 hiking pole for that to be worth buying. I guess I'll buy that, and I'll buy the Hedgehog. The game's been trying to get me to do that forever. Cursed Gnome cost me 11 range, but we make back that damage with the 19 melee damage, and it's cursed, so that's kind of fun. Let's roll here, roll again, buy some more regen, buy the Lost Duck, and roll one more time. Oh, the Bloody Hand. I wish I could have bought that. So can I recycle and buy it? I could recycle a hiking pole and buy the Cursed Bloody Hand for plus, it would be 100% damage, so basically multiply my damage by 50%. I guess that is worth it. So we're going to sell this level 4 hiking pole and buy the Bloody Hand here. It's plus 50% because we're going from 100 to 200. So we're going from double the normal damage to triple the normal damage, or plus 50% additional damage. But we're selling 1/6 of our damage to get 50% extra damage, so it's going to be better on net. And then let's go into the boss fights. So remember, these guys have double health from the Celery Tea. So even through that, we were able to kill them extremely fast. All right, so that was a super fun run. Really funny that we ended with 5 weapons, but you know what? That's what the Bloody Hand, when you have plus 100% lifesteal, is good for. And yeah, also, it's only 100% damage, not the 200% listed, because we're the entrepreneur. If you're confused about any of the quick math that I did there. The coupons saved us 4,319 materials. Incredible. The loot worm was worth 225. We were picking up most of the materials that we dropped, but it was still pretty good. Our fish hooks cursed a lot of stuff. We were pretty happy with those. We ended up with plus 35, or I guess plus 17.5% damage from the power generators. 85,000 damage from spicy sauce. We did, what else? 660 from bags. Shockingly low, actually, on the bag, given how much luck I had. And our hiking poles gave us somewhere in the neighborhood of about 100 range on average. Some of these are ones that we sold and rebought and stuff like that. So we ended up with 711 range, and then we bought a bunch of extra range as well. We were not even close to the ball and chain minimum, so it was fine there. We saved 1,424 off our spyglasses, so those were amazing. Obviously, Gobbler's Hat gave us a ridiculous amount of money. Grind's Magical Leaf helping us get to absurd stats, and so we ended with one of the most powerful end games it's possible to have in this game. So even with a crappy weapon like Hiking Pole, Entrepreneur, still an incredibly broken character. Definitely not how I would suggest going about trying to win with this character. Use Sickle instead, and it's just going to be a very easy run. But this is a fun way to do it, and you get to buy a bunch of range and use a weapon that's normally on the extremely weak side. Alright, my friends, hope you enjoyed this run, and of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. It helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.